If you're a man over 60 and your erections have grown weaker, your sleep feels broken, and your energy just isn't what it used to be, then this may come as a shock. It's not just aging, it's not just stress. In many cases, it's the silent result of going to bed every night missing one simple vitamin, one that nourishes your blood, your nerves, your testosterone, and yes, your manhood. I'm Dr. Mohit Khera. I've spent over 30 years helping men restore strength, confidence, and performance when they thought it was gone for good. And what I've seen again and again is this. Most men are not broken. They are simply missing the nighttime nutrients their body needs to rebuild and perform. Because while you're sleeping, your body isn't resting, it's working. It's repairing your blood vessels, restoring hormone balance, refueling your erections for the next morning, but only if it has the raw materials to do so. Most men don't. And that's why so many wake up tired, numb, or weak in the very place they want to feel strong. In this video, I'll walk you through 7 essential vitamins, plus 2 powerful insights most men never hear about, why so many fail, and what changes you'll actually feel after 7, 14, and 30 nights. If you stay with me, I'll show you how just one small change before bed could revive your blood flow, reignite your strength, and give you back the rest and erections you deserve. Before we dive in, if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and tap that button and turn on the bell, so you never miss a simple, science-backed tip to help restore your energy, erections, and sleep naturally. And if this video speaks to you, type 1 in the comments. If it doesn't, type 0 and let me know how I can better support your journey to better health after 60. Now, let's start with the first and most overlooked key to restoring nighttime strength, vitamin D3. Not in the morning, but right before bed. This one shift can help reignite testosterone, improve blood flow, and set the stage for the deep, healing sleep your body desperately needs. 1. Vitamin D3, the sleep hormone trigger. I remember one patient, Robert, 68, who came to see me after nearly giving up. He was healthy by most standards, no heart disease, no diabetes, but he felt exhausted. His sleep was shallow, his mornings were dull, and intimacy had become a distant memory. He looked me in the eye and said, "Doc, I don't feel like a man anymore." After a few simple tests, it became clear what was missing. He was chronically deficient in vitamin D3. Now, most people think of vitamin D3 as something you get from the sun or maybe take in the morning with your coffee. But here's the truth I've learned after 3 decades of helping men. When you take vitamin D3 matters almost as much as how much you take. When you take it before bed, something powerful happens. Vitamin D3 works directly with your body's natural repair cycle. It helps regulate melatonin, the hormone that helps you fall into deep, restful sleep. But it also stimulates your body's testosterone production during that sleep. You see, your body is designed to rebuild itself at night, repairing damaged tissue, restoring circulation, and reigniting hormonal function. But without D3, those systems stall. And this isn't just about hormones, it's about blood flow. Vitamin D3 supports the endothelial lining of your blood vessels, the same tissue responsible for releasing nitric oxide, which is the molecule your body needs to trigger and maintain an erection. Without enough of it, your arteries stiffen, your circulation slows, and your erections weaken. What made Robert's story remarkable wasn't just how quickly things changed, it's how simple the change was. He started taking just 1 dose of vitamin D3 before bed, nothing fancy, just the right form, the right time. Within 1 week, his sleep improved. Within 2, his energy came back. And by week 3, he came back into my office, grinning like he had a secret. He told me, "Doc, I woke up hard as a rock for the first time in over a year. I thought that part of me was gone." That's the power of one well-timed vitamin. Not 10 pills, not a drawer full of supplements. Just one essential nutrient, given to the body at the moment it knows how to use it best. This isn't a miracle pill, it's biological timing. It's working with your body, not against it. So if you're over 60, tired of waking up feeling weak, foggy, or flat, don't overlook this. Vitamin D3 before bed could be the missing piece. One small step that could lead to bigger mornings, deeper rest, and a steady rise in your natural energy. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Because while vitamin D3 sets the stage, the next vitamin I'll show you plays a very different role. It calms the nervous system, sharpens your mental focus, and quietly fuels the hormones that keep you feeling like yourself. Most men miss this one completely. Let's take a closer look. 2. Vitamin B6, the drive and calm balancer. When I think about the quiet power of vitamin B6, I think of Harold. He was 71, retired Navy, still sharp, still strong, but something inside him had dimmed. He told me, "Doc, I'm not anxious, I'm not depressed, but I feel flat, like there's no fire anymore." I asked him about his sleep. He said it was patchy, a couple of hours here, then he'd wake up. And energy? Gone by lunchtime. Then I asked about his libido. He looked away and said, "That part of me's been fading for years." And I understood. I've heard it 1,000 times. The truth is, by the time most men reach 60, their brain and body start slipping out of sync. You're tired, but your mind won't shut off. You want intimacy, but the signal just doesn't travel like it used to. That's where vitamin B6 makes all the difference, especially when you take it before bed. B6 plays a key role in producing dopamine, the brain chemical that gives you drive, motivation, and desire, but it also helps produce GABA, the calming neurotransmitter that quiets the mind and allows you to fall into deep, uninterrupted sleep. It's this rare balance of energy and calm that makes B6 so powerful. When you take it at night, it signals the body to shift gears, to stop racing, to start rebuilding. And deep inside that sleep cycle, B6 is helping trigger a cascade of hormones that affect everything from mood to blood flow to testosterone. Harold began taking just one simple dose of vitamin B6 about 30 minutes before bed. Not a megadose, not a cocktail of supplements, just that one. By the end of the first week, he wasn't waking up as much. By week 2, his mood improved. He described it as feeling light on the inside. But the real moment came in week 3. He looked at me, almost surprised, and said, "I actually wanted to be with my wife again. And more than that, I could." That's the magic of giving the body what it needs, when it needs it. You don't have to force it. You just have to support the natural rhythm that's already there. And when that rhythm returns, when your brain, blood, and hormones start speaking the same language again, your erections improve, your sleep deepens, your vitality reawakens. All from just one vitamin taken at the right time. But there's more to the story, because B6 unlocks the drive, yes, but what if your blood vessels are still too tight to respond? What if the flow itself is blocked? That's where the next nutrient comes in. It's not a vitamin. It's a powerful mineral that helps open the channels, relax the arteries, and flood the body with the circulation it's been missing. And for many men, it's the one missing link between desire and performance. Let's talk about it. 3. Magnesium Glycinate, the erections relaxer. Some men think erections are all about desire. Others think it's all about testosterone. But there's something they almost always forget: relaxation. Not mental relaxation, though that matters. I'm talking about the relaxation of the arteries, the smooth muscles, the vascular pathways that allow blood to actually flow into the penis in the first place. I remember Ken. He was 66, a former firefighter, still active, still tough, but secretly struggling. "Doc," he said, "I still want to be with my wife. But when the moment comes, I just can't stay hard. I feel frustrated, ashamed. And honestly, afraid she'll stop wanting me too." We ran his labs. His testosterone was decent. Blood sugar wasn't the issue, but one thing stood out. He was severely deficient in magnesium. What most men don't realize is that magnesium plays a vital role in the body's ability to relax blood vessels, regulate blood pressure, and keep the nerves firing properly. And when levels are low, especially after 60, everything tightens. Blood flow slows, Erections become weaker, sleep becomes shallow. The body simply can't let go. That's where magnesium glycinate comes in. Of all the forms of magnesium, glycinate is my go-to for older men because it crosses the blood-brain barrier. It calms the central nervous system, quiets racing thoughts, and gently lowers nighttime blood pressure. But even more important, it promotes nitric oxide release, the very compound responsible for triggering strong, full erections. Ken began taking just one small dose of magnesium glycinate before bed. That was it. Within days, his sleep improved. He told me it was the first time in years he slept 6 straight hours without waking up. By the second week, he felt more energized in the morning, less groggy, more clear. But what moved him the most was something unexpected. He said, "I woke up with a real erection, not just a twitch, something solid. It felt like I had my body back." There was relief in his voice, gratitude too, but most of all, there was confidence. And that's what happens when you give your body what it needs to restore balance and flow. You don't need stimulants. You don't need harsh medications. Sometimes, all it takes is one mineral, taken at the right time, to release the tension that's been silently holding your body back. But here's the thing. Even if the blood can now flow, we still have to protect the tiny arteries that carry it there. And as men age, those vessels become vulnerable, damaged by time, toxins, and inflammation. That's where the next vitamin becomes essential. It's the one that shields your circulation like armor and gives your erections the strength they deserve. Let's take a closer look. 4. Vitamin E, the artery protector. I'll never forget Carl. He was 72, a retired school principal, always well put together, pressed shirts, polished shoes, sharp mind. But underneath that neat exterior, he was quietly battling something that most men never talk about. He sat down in my office, cleared his throat, and said, "Dr. Khera, I feel like my body isn't listening to me anymore. I want to perform, but nothing responds the way it used to." His blood pressure was up. His cholesterol wasn't terrible, but not ideal either. But more importantly, his circulation was slowing, especially where it mattered most. I explained to him something I tell many of my patients. Erections aren't just about hormones or desire. They are vascular events, completely dependent on the health and flexibility of the smallest blood vessels in your body. And these tiny vessels, especially those in the penis, are the first to suffer from aging and inflammation. That's where vitamin E becomes a powerful ally, especially when taken before bed. Vitamin E is known as a fat-soluble antioxidant, but to me, it's so much more than that. It's circulatory protection in a capsule. It safeguards the delicate endothelial lining of your arteries, the very layer responsible for releasing nitric oxide, the chemical that causes blood vessels to expand and fill the penis with blood. At night, when your body shifts into repair mode, vitamin E helps cleanse oxidative stress, reduce arterial inflammation, and prevent cholesterol from hardening those vessels. It literally allows your body to reopen the pathways to stronger, fuller erections while you sleep. Carl began taking just one small dose of natural vitamin E before bed. Within a few weeks, he began sleeping more soundly and waking up feeling rested, not just physically, but emotionally. Then came the morning when he called my office, almost whispering through the phone, "Tell the doctor, it worked." When he came in for follow-up, his blood pressure had lowered, his confidence had risen, and something else was back: his sense of being a man. That's the beauty of vitamin E. You don't feel it like caffeine. It doesn't force anything. But slowly, quietly, it restores blood flow from the inside out. Just one small act before bed, and you give your body the armor it needs to fight back against time. And once that protection is in place, once the blood can flow freely, you need to make sure your body knows what to do with it. That brings us to a trace mineral that most men never think about, but that your testosterone and your prostate are begging for. It may be the most masculine mineral on the planet, and without it, no amount of blood flow will bring your performance back. Let's talk about it. 5. Zinc, the testosterone gatekeeper. There was a man named Leonard who I saw not long ago. He was 69, still worked part-time at his local hardware store, and had the warm, easy confidence of a man who'd once been the strongest guy in the room. But during our visit, that confidence gave way to something more vulnerable. He leaned forward and said, "Dr. Khera, I still love my wife. I still want her, but things don't work the way they used to, and I don't want to just accept that." We reviewed his labs. His testosterone was low, not dangerously so, but not optimal either. His prostate was beginning to show signs of aging, and his energy dipped sharply by early afternoon. But one thing stood out most. Leonard was zinc deficient. And in men over 60, that's not just a detail, it's a warning sign. Zinc is the mineral every man needs if he wants to preserve sexual function, hormone strength, and prostate health. But timing matters. When you take zinc at night, before bed, you align it with your body's natural hormone production cycle. That's when it does its best work. Zinc fuels the release of luteinizing hormone, the chemical messenger that signals your testicles to produce testosterone. And when testosterone is low, your desire fades, your erections weaken, and your energy collapses. Zinc also supports sperm production, improves the health of prostate tissue, and blocks estrogen buildup, something that becomes more common as we age. Leonard started taking just one 15 mg dose of zinc before bed, not a multivitamin blend, not a stack of supplements, just that one targeted dose. Within 10 days, he felt clearer. By week 3, he told me his motivation had returned, but what meant the most to him was what happened between him and his wife. "We held each other again," he said, "not just physically, but as husband and wife. I felt like myself again." And I see that again and again. Because when you nourish your body at the right time, the results don't just happen in your blood, they show up in your life. Restored energy, stronger erections, a sense of masculine identity that's deeper than muscle. It's the quiet knowing that your body is still working, still alive. But here's the thing most men don't realize. It's not just one nutrient doing all the work. Sometimes it's about synergy. About two key forces working together, like old teammates, one calming your system, the other fueling it. So your body doesn't just survive the night, it rebuilds during it. And that's where we're headed next. Because the next strategy I'll show you combines two powerful ingredients into one nighttime ritual that repairs your nerves, restores your circulation, and reignites the very spark that made you feel alive in the first place. Let's dive into that. 6. B complex, the energy and blood supporter. I once treated a man named Daniel, 70 years old, a retired postal worker. He was the type of guy who always put others first, raised a family, worked hard his whole life, rarely complained. But the day he came into my office, there was something heavy behind his eyes. He sat down and said, "Doc, I feel like my body's fading. I'm tired all the time, my sleep's a mess, and I haven't felt strong in months, not as a man, not as a partner." He wasn't depressed. He wasn't sick. But his blood work told a story, a quiet deficiency in B vitamins, the kind that slowly chips away at your foundation. And what most men don't realize is that these B vitamins aren't just for energy, they're vital for erections, blood flow, and restorative sleep. Each B vitamin plays a different role. B1 and B2 help power the heart and nervous system. B3 supports blood vessel dilation, increasing blood flow throughout the body, including to the penis. B5 and B6 help regulate stress hormones like cortisol, which can sabotage testosterone when elevated at night. B9 and B12 are essential for healthy red blood cells and nitric oxide production, the very chemical your body needs to generate strong erections. Now here's where the timing matters. When Daniel began taking a high-quality B-complex vitamin before bed, everything changed. Not overnight, but gradually, night after night, his body started working with itself instead of against itself. He told me his mind felt clearer in the morning. His energy didn't crash after lunch. And by the third week, something else returned, morning wood, stronger than he'd had in years. "I didn't think that was still possible," he said, his voice cracking a little. "It made me feel whole again." What I've seen over and over in my practice is that when older men nourish their nervous system, their vascular system follows. Your heart pumps stronger, your brain feels sharper, and yes, your erections respond with strength, confidence, and staying power. It doesn't take a dozen pills. Sometimes it's just one vitamin complex, taken with purpose, at the right time, before bed, when your body is ready to recover. But as powerful as that B complex is on its own, something even more remarkable happens when it's paired with the right partner. One mineral that calms your nervous system, enhances absorption, and creates the perfect internal environment for nightly repair. And when these two combine, you get a recovery rhythm so powerful, many men report feeling younger, stronger, and more centered than they have in decades. Let's explore that nighttime synergy next. 7. B complex plus magnesium, the nightly power combo. There's something special that happens when two ingredients work together, when they support each other, amplify each other, and allow your body to heal in a way that feels almost effortless. I've seen it countless times in my practice, but one story stays with me. His name was Frank. He was 74, widowed, lived alone in a quiet suburb. A gentle man, proud, but quiet. When he first came to see me, he didn't speak about sex or intimacy. He simply said, "I'm tired, doctor. I don't sleep. I don't feel right. My body feels like it's shutting down, slowly." We did a full workup, and while nothing major jumped out, one thing became clear. His nervous system was on edge, his circulation was lagging, and he was deficient in both B vitamins and magnesium. And the truth is, that's incredibly common in men his age. The body doesn't absorb like it used to. Stress depletes what little reserves are left, and without support, the systems that give us vitality, circulation, testosterone, sleep, start falling apart. So I gave Frank one simple instruction. Take a high-quality B complex along with magnesium glycinate about an hour before bed. No prescriptions, no hormones, just these two nutrients working together. What happened over the next few weeks was nothing short of remarkable. He began sleeping deeper. He stopped waking up 3-4 times a night. His energy began lasting into the afternoon. But the real change came when he walked into my office one morning, looked me in the eye and said, "Something's different. I feel like a man again." He said he was waking up with stronger erections. His mind felt sharper, his body lighter. He smiled. I didn't realize how far I'd slipped until I started to come back. That's the power of synergy. The B complex nourishes your blood, your nerves, your hormone pathways. Magnesium calms the system, improves absorption, and opens up the very vessels your blood needs to reach. Together, they reset the rhythm that's been lost. And for men over 60, that rhythm is everything. It's not about being perfect. It's about feeling like you again, rested, ready, steady. One simple combo, one quiet act of self-respect before bed, and the results speak for themselves. More energy, deeper sleep, and erections that remind you your body still works. But here's the catch. Most men never stick with it. They give up too soon. They expect overnight miracles or take things at the wrong time of day, and it's exactly why they fail. So before we move forward, let me show you the most common mistakes older men make and how you can avoid them to finally get the results you've been hoping for. 8. Why most men fail. The common mistake. This next part is difficult to say, but it's something I have to tell every man who walks into my office, because I've seen too many give up when they were just a few steps away from real change. The truth is, most men fail not because their body can't heal, but because they expect it to heal on their timeline, not the body's. There was one patient in particular, Ron, 65, strong guy, proud, used to fixing things himself. When I recommended one simple supplement, just a single dose of magnesium glycinate before bed, he took it for 3 nights, saw no difference, and quit. He came back frustrated. "It didn't work, doc. I'm still tired, still no morning wood." So I asked him, "Ron, how long did it take for your health to decline?" He paused. "Years," he said. "Decades, maybe." I looked him in the eye and gently said, "Then why would you expect to fix it in 72 hours? Here's what I've learned after 30 years in men's health. Healing isn't loud, it's subtle. It's a slow rebuilding that happens night after night, layer after layer, when you nourish your body at the right time. The men who succeed are the ones who stay consistent, who don't skip nights, who understand that the body speaks in signals, not shouts. Another common mistake? Taking vitamins and minerals in the morning when your body is in stress mode. Most men pop a capsule with coffee and expect it to give them energy, but in reality, your body does most of its repair while you sleep. That's when testosterone is produced, blood vessels are restored, and neurotransmitters are reset. When you take the right nutrient, just one, before bed, you give your body the raw material to do its job naturally. Not forcing it, not stimulating it, just supporting the system that already knows how to heal. And finally, many men simply take the wrong form. Cheap, synthetic vitamins with low absorption rates. Or megadoses that overload the liver. That's not the answer. It never was. What your body wants is something gentle, bioavailable, and well-timed. So if you've tried before and nothing worked, maybe it wasn't your fault. Maybe you were just missing the timing, the patience, or the right form. But once you fix those three things, the change can feel almost effortless. Now, I know you might be wondering, if I stick with it, how long will it take before I actually feel different? When will the energy come back? When will I wake up hard again? That's exactly what we're going to talk about next, because when you nourish your body with the right support at night, there's a very real transformation that begins, and I'll walk you through exactly what to expect, day by day, week by week. Let's break it down. 9. What to expect in 7, 14, and 30 nights, the road to recovery. One of the most common questions I hear, whether from men in their 60s or their 80s, is this: Doc, how long before I start to feel something again? And I get it. When your body has been numb, tired, or disconnected for years, the idea of change can feel far away. But when you begin taking even just one right vitamin or mineral before bed, consistently, something starts to shift. Slowly, yes, but deeply. Let me tell you about Richard, 73. He was skeptical. He'd tried everything: powders, pills, prescriptions, but he agreed to try just one thing: magnesium glycinate before bed, every night, no exceptions. I told him, don't look for fireworks, look for flickers, little signs your body is coming back online. By the 7th night, he noticed something small but important. He was sleeping through the night. He wasn't tossing or waking to use the bathroom 3 times, and he felt less anxious, like his body had finally exhaled. By day 14, he told me something had changed in the mornings. Doc, he said, I'm not only waking up more rested, I'm waking up with a response down there. It's not where I want it yet, but it's something, and that something gives me hope. That's exactly what the body does. When nourished and supported, it begins to show you quiet signs of repair, better circulation, clearer thoughts, calmer nights. By the 30th night, Richard stood taller. His skin looked better. His handshake was firmer. He said, I feel like I'm driving my own body again, not just riding in it. And when he said he and his partner had reconnected, physically and emotionally, he teared up. I didn't think this part of life was still possible. It is. For him, for you. For any man who's willing to give his body just one simple act of care before bed. Now, let me be clear. Not every man follows this timeline exactly. Some feel results sooner, some take longer. But the pattern is consistent: deeper sleep, better energy, stronger erections. It starts from the inside out. And it starts with consistency, not intensity. You don't need to overhaul your life. You don't need to take 10 supplements a day. Just one right nutrient at the right time can open the door to everything your body's been asking for. So the question now is, what's next? Because now that you know what your body is capable of, how do you build on it? How do you stay consistent, stay strong, and make this your new normal? In the final section, I'll show you exactly how to lock in these gains, avoid the common pitfalls, and create a nightly ritual that supports your manhood for years to come. Let's finish strong. 10. The final word. One small step, one restored life. If there's one thing I want you to take away from everything we've talked about, it's this. Your body hasn't given up on you. It's waiting for you to show up for it. Night after night, your body is still trying to repair, still trying to restore the very systems that give you strength, energy, and intimacy. I've walked this road with so many men who felt defeated, disconnected, unsure if the fire would ever come back. And again, I've watched something powerful happen when they made one small shift, choosing to give their body just one right vitamin or mineral before bed, not in the morning, not randomly, but with purpose, with rhythm, with trust. Whether it's vitamin D3 to restore testosterone, B6 to balance the brain, magnesium to release tension, vitamin E to protect the arteries, zinc to awaken masculinity, or a simple B complex to rebuild energy, each one plays a role. But taken at the right time, in the quiet of night, they do more than work, they heal. I've seen marriages rekindled, mornings renewed, confidence restored, not because of a pill, but because a man decided he was worth caring for again. So tonight, let your healing begin. Choose your one. Take it with intention. Lie down, not to sleep, but to rebuild. Because the strength you miss isn't gone. It's waiting to return. And you're not done yet. You're just getting started.